Shop Talk FCB.
Shop Talk FCB. Welcome back, y'all.
Welcome. Bacardi, we here.
We here, my brother.
We in the building.
We in the building. Like always.
We would like to welcome y'all on this journey that we are on. Shop Talk FCB.
Yes, sir.
The illest podcast that no one knows about.
Illest.
Yet.
Everybody knows about it.
We've been sending out teasers.
Yes, absolutely.
And everybody's real excited for what we got
Great
going
feedback.
on. This is episode 1.
That's right.
But technically, it's episode 26.
Yeah.
You know, we had this idea. We brought it to life. We didn't really have a plan well executed. We kind of started off in the middle of the floor using whatever equipment we had, which was one camera, one GoPro.
That's it.
And then we added another one. And you will see
the progress
in this journey, episode after episode, us get better and better.
Yes, absolutely.
Have your patience with us. We were figuring things out in the beginning, and this is why we decided to redo episode 1. Why? One, we didn't have it all figured out, and this is we're sharing this with you because it's important when you're on your journey.
Right.
You're not gonna figure it all out the first day. You're gonna make some mistakes.
That's right.
But you still attempt. You adjust, you pivot, you get better.
That's right. And it's to show you how raw, unfiltered, and genuine this podcast is.
Exactly. Nothing
scripted.
We don't rehearse anything.
Nothing.
We don't have any notebooks here.
Right.
No, nothing. And
it's on the fly.
we like to keep it that way because it's more from the heart.
That's what I like
honest.
to do.
Right now, we usually film on Saturdays after hours, more or less. Today, we're filming during business hours, so you might hear some customers in the background. This is beautiful.
Interaction.
Yeah.
And initially, that's how we had it. We had it with the cameras facing the front, so you could see the interaction between the customers and, and the barbers. But it just becomes so much like it's we wanted to make it different. We wanted to make it something.
Yeah, we wanted to make it comfortable for you to see on your screen.
Right.
And also, man, you know, the first episode, our cameras died. The audio kept recording, so we have all the audio.
Yes.
But the camera was set to turn off after a half hour.
Right. Thank you, Sony, for doing that. Bright idea.
You know, Sony, it's just a thing they had. We had to turn that little setting off, but we got it all figured out. We're doing our thing. The feedback that we've been getting thus far has kept us motivated enough to keep going with this, and we don't want to stop. You know, we want to continue on this journey with you guys.
That's right.
Every episode has a guest.
Yes.
Every guest has a unique story.
That's right.
The way I like to explain it to people when they be like, yo, what is that? What do you got going on? I say, you know, what kind of guest do you interview? And I'm like, anybody.
Anybody.
We'll interview you.
Yeah.
You know, we'll interview you.
Absolutely.
It's because everybody has a
story
to tell.
Right.
And we like to focus on where you were, where you are now,
and where you're going.
And where you're going.
That's right.
We like to end it with what's something you might say to a younger version of yourself, or a younger, version, a similar person to you that's out there listening, maybe being motivated and touched by your story.
Yes.
What's something that you might tell that person to help guide them, motivate them, and give them the inspiration to continue forward.
Right.
We have to back up because a lot of you guys know us, a lot of you guys don't. We're about to introduce ourselves to the world.
That's right.
And as Bacardi said, the illest DJ on the planet of Earth.
I appreciate
Google him. All right? Nothing is rehearsed. You guys are about to get some information and some raw content from us.
Yes, sir.
Personal questions, and I'll be sharing things with you guys that I really don't share with anyone.
Right.
And so will Bacardi, and so will our guests, and this is what we like to do. We want to use a platform to kind of get our stories out there.
That's right.
And in my case and in Bacardi's cases, man, we started from the bottom.
That's right.
But we are here.
That's right.
The message at the end of the day is it doesn't really matter what you went through. It matters how you got out of it.
Right.
It does play a role in molding you, experiences. But at the end of the day, how did you adjust? Did you adjust? Are you still struggling?
Are you still stagnant? Are you still in the same position?
Or are you serving as a good example now?
Right.
The complete opposite. Are people looking at you as a role model?
Right.
And I think that we have reached the level thank goodness. Now, if we doing something, there might be some youngins looking at us.
Absolutely.
From the sidelines. We won't even
Absolutely.
see them looking at us,
No.
but they looking at us like, that sounds cool. That
Yes,
seems
sir.
cool, man. I
Yes,
would
sir.
like to do something like that.
Yes, sir.
Or something similar, you know, or even something different, but just be motivated by our determination.
That's right.
You know, in the beginning, we kind of basically introduced ourselves to
Right.
the world, and you know, we'll get down to the nitty gritty
Yes, sir.
right off the bat. My name is Michael Medina.
Yes, sir.
I'm a barber here at Fulton County Barbershop.
Yes, sir.
We got the infamous Bacardi.
DJ McCartney. He likes doing that side.
You know, things weren't always peaches and cream.
No.
And even as we continue on in our entrepreneurship, we will encounter a hurdle, some sort of obstacle.
Of course.
But how did we get over it? How did we tackle that?
Right.
If we were to rewind, let's rewind a little bit and give them a real introduction. A lot of you guys, where I came from to where I am now is night and day.
Right.
Many years ago, I found myself in some trouble. I don't want to blame anybody else. You know, a lot of people be like, yo, I was hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Nope.
I was the wrong crowd.
There you go.
You know?
There you go.
And it got me into some situations.
Right.
Very, very
Right.
whack situations where
Right.
I was incarcerated. I got sent away as a juvenile delinquent. You know, 13, 14 years old, I was already shipped away.
Right.
And then I got out and got in more trouble after that. It was one of them things where I didn't really have any kind of guidance.
Right.
I didn't have anybody telling me, yo, chill, besides the law.
Right.
You know, or
And
at
the
least-
peers in your neighborhood were probably living similar lifestyles, was doing the same thing.
Yeah. So I found myself getting in trouble over and over again.
Right.
I became one of them guys that people forgot about.
Right.
It wasn't. People didn't even remember my name because
Right.
I was gone so long, you know,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. Why would you remember someone that's always in trouble
Yeah.
and always up to no good and things like that?
It's kind of expected, right?
It's kind of expected. In 2009,
Mm-hmm.
I got out.
Right.
And I was on a mission. I was on a mission to.
I remember.
Yeah. I was on a mission to change my way, be a good role model. I wanted to be successful
Right.
legally and also prove to myself that I can do it.
Absolutely.
And I still had no guidance.
Right.
So this time, I went my whole life with no real discipline. And it took a couple prison visits and
Right.
juvenile delinquent homes. But, you know, after it was all said and done, you know, I seen what hard work
Right.
could really get you.
Right.
You know, and I also saw that the risks of me getting taken away
Yes, sir.
were way down, you
Yeah.
know, by me just going to work,
That's right.
providing for the family,
Right.
you know, and being unselfish, right? Because how selfish of me was it to continue on with this negative lifestyle,
Right.
knowing that I got people that care, love me,
Exactly.
and just like that, I'm gone.
Right.
Now what? Their Christmases aren't the same.
Right.
Mine certainly wasn't.
Right.
You know, being locked up, it's not cool.
It's not cool at all. It's not
No.
cool at all.
No.
Because it doesn't only affect you, it affects your family, it affects everyone else who cares about you.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, they're sending you packages, they're sending you letters, they're
Right.
sending you money orders.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I currently have this one guy in particular, super good friend of mine, like my brother. I love this guy to death. And, you know, he's currently incarcerated.
Wow.
His family's doing what they can to help him out, make his stay
Right.
over there easy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, so are his friends, you know. And
Yeah.
but it's just like he's so much better off out here.
yeah, of course.
You know, the potential.
Because you know his potential. You know what type of person he is. And
Yeah.
to see him in there is like, it's a wasted talent.
And then even me, like, I think I had potential.
Of course.
Back then, it's
Yeah.
just that
But like you said, you had no guidance.
I didn't have no guidance. I wasn't tapped into.
And I'm sure poverty had a lot to do with it too. You know, you want to,
True.
even though I'm sure you got into a life of crime and running the streets, but you were trying with the ultimate goal to make things better, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think.
Right.
Because you don't really have a plan.
Right.
When you're living like that,
Absolutely.
you kind of just wake up and whatever happens, that day happens, you know?
Yeah,
You
I know.
and so, but that's no way to live.
No.
Live vicariously through some of the
That's
actions
right.
that I maybe have went through.
Absolutely.
and learn from my errors, my mistakes. I spent way too many of my years away from my family where I could have developed a skill way earlier as far as age is concerned.
Right.
And not have wasted all these years in a penitentiary. How you say that word?
Penitentiary. You said it right.
I said it right because I be wanting to say penitentiary.
It's definitely penitentiary. You said it right.
I said it right the first time.
Yeah.
With that being said, there's people that they come out of prison, they come out and they're like, yeah, nah, that shit was fun, it was great, and I don't mind.
Yep.
Like that is not cool
At all.
That is not cool. If you are a hustler, if you out there, I don't care if you're selling drugs, if you out there stealing,
right.
Bro, you have a skill.
That's right.
You have a little skill. You have a hustle in you. Gotta turn that around.
That's right.
We gotta turn that hustler's mentality around and do it in a way where we are like an inspiration.
Yes,
we
sir.
are doing so good
Right.
legally
Right.
that people are paying attention.
Right.
People are noticing and they're giving recognition.
That's right.
I'm Puerto Rican, I was new to this neighborhood
Right.
in 2009.
Right.
I was fresh out of prison. I opened up a shop. I have a background.
Right.
How serious do you think these people locally
Are gonna
took me?
Right.
Where'd this guy come from?
Right.
Who's he?
Already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure things like that were said.
Of course.
Not everybody. Some of you guys.
Some people are open-minded, and just some
Open-minded.
people are closed-minded. Yeah.
Some people are yeah, exactly.
Right. And rightfully so to an extent. Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Right.
Because it gives you the opportunity to hustle hard.
That's it.
And prove to them. So that's what kind of mission I was on, bro.
Right.
I was like, nah, I want to prove myself. I want to prove myself because for so many years, I was proving what an idiot I was. Because I was putting my own selfishness before
anyone else.
Yeah. No concern, no regard, no care or concern, So I finally proved to the people in this community who I am, how I am, and why I am.
Right.
Now I don't shy away from telling my story, whereas in the beginning I would kind of shy away because of how someone might look at me
or judge you.
Yeah, because oh man, you were locked up.
Right.
I didn't know that about you, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's not something that I like to share with everybody.
Right, but it's part of your life. It's part
But
of your
it's part
journey.
of my life, and I see that where I am now, I'm so comfortable with where I am now that I can talk about it freely, a little bit more freely, anyways.
Yes, sir.
It's still like it's not anything that we like to glorify.
No,
if
never.
anything, what we're glorifying is
the progress,
how we made it out of there.
That's right.
So in this podcast, you're gonna hear nothing but positive and influential stories.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. If you're looking for drama, if you're looking for bonchinche, which is gossip, you're on channel. We're here about motivation, ambition, and potential in someone, man. Now, let me ask you a question. This is you being incarcerated and all, and what made you get into cutting hair? Like, how was that your end goal? I mean, it's not your end goal because you're doing so much, but what made you want to turn that into a business? Like, how did you get into that?
That's a good question, man. So basically, I learned in jail. I learned by just using a razor blade and a comb at first.
Yeah.
Ask the CEO for a razor blade and a comb. You take the blade out, adjust it onto the comb, and you go to work.
Right.
Eventually, I got moved into a facility where they used machines.
Okay.
And I wasn't nothing special.
Right.
But I would mess around a little bit and shape people up. I would mess up a lot of heads. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But these people just kept letting me mess them up until I just couldn't mess up anymore.
Right.
And so I think it was just a jail thing for me at first. It was just something to do while I was in jail or in prison.
Right. It's true because when I met you when you first came out of prison, I remember.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a shop, nothing. You weren't even cutting in your house or anything like that. And I remember you were working for an advertising company or something like that, right?
Yes. I was working for an advertising company. There was a guy out here that gave me a job when nobody else gave me a job. His name is Joe Sullivan. Shout out Joe Sullivan. I'll never forget you.
Right.
He gave me a job, man, and he knew my situation. He knew that all these other guys said no to me. And I was doing good at the advertising, but I started to dabble in haircuts on the side, and I seen that I had a nice little following after a year or two.
Yeah.
When my house started getting full of customers.
Right.
It was my house.
Of course.
And so now they're walking past my kitchen.
Yes.
They're smelling what is being cooked for dinner.
Right.
You know, it's asking me to use my bathroom, and it's all good. It's
Right.
just,
That's
it's my
your
house.
Right. You have your child there, you know. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. So when I got to the point where I saw that the potential for me to open a business was there, I stacked up my clientele. I kept building it up, and then I just got a location. I figured, if you put a deposit down on a location, you can't go back. Now you got to do it.
That's it. And I'm sure it was scary in the beginning, right? You were like, is this going to fail? Am I going to make it? Did you have those feelings?
Yeah, you know why I had those feelings, bro? I didn't have those feelings until people told me I was going to fail, bro.
Oh, wow.
You know, I thought that I had the location. Okay, wow, I'm going to open up a barbershop. I was excited.
Right.
Until people were around me that was like, you know, they seen the spot that I got for rent, and they were like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, because it totally looked different in the way it does now.
Yeah.
Totally looked different.
Yeah, when it took a lot of work to get it to where we have it now, but I started to believe them. I was like, man, what did I do? Did I make a mistake? Did I, you know, and I remember I had people come down that said they were going to come down to help me.
And never did.
And no, they came,
they did,
they came down
right.
and they told me that I was going to fail.
Wow.
They said, Mike, this place is too much. This is too much, too big, way too much space.
Wow.
You're going to go broke. You know, the national grids, this isn't the area for this kind of business and this and that. And I was like, you know what? I remember I told this one person, I'm not going to say his name, 'cause I don't like him that much. Man, he came down here to help me out, and he said all those negative things, and I said, man, I thought you, out of all people, were going to come down here and be happy for me and be like, wow, you know, all right, what do we tackle first? I said, if you came down here to tell me that, you could leave.
Right.
And he said, all right, man, see you later.
Wow.
And he left.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I know you get the newspaper delivered to your house. And I've made the newspaper a couple times.
A few times.
Of positive things.
That's it, yeah.
And so I hope you read the article.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? Because I made it even though you told me no. Even though you told me I was going to fail and bring the people around me down with me.
Yes, sir.
You know, instead we elevated.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
There was doubt, but it wasn't. I didn't doubt until I had those negative forces around me. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to surround yourself, recognize the negative individuals around you, and surround yourself with someone opposite.
And usually they come to light and they wither away. And you know what's the best thing, bro? You get rid of people like that. You know, sometimes you know so many people, but sometimes it's good to keep a small circle as well as close friends, because you know who good people are. And who good people aren't.
Yes.
They always show themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Something that is so important because people think, you know, you open up a business and everything is good. No, there's going to be times that you, in the middle of your happiness, in the middle of all your success, some sort of obstacle, some sort of hurdle, something, it could be like emotional, it could be mental, it could be physical. My man's struggling right now with a torn meniscus. And that's just an example. You know, something will happen to slow you down. It could stop you if you let it.
If you let it stop you, absolutely.
It could stop you if you let it.
Absolutely.
But let this serve as motivation. Look where we are now.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm getting invites to come and talk to a graduating class. Now I'm getting invited to go into correctional facilities to talk to the inmates. It was surreal because this past summer I got invited to a correctional facility to talk to 2 sets of inmates.
Wow.
And I was in that prison.
What, in the same prison?
In that same prison.
Wow.
I was at the podium talking to an assembly of a bunch of inmates. I've never done this. This was my first time doing it. You know me, I don't write nothing down. We gonna wing everything. So that's what I did. I didn't even bring, you know, cue card, no nothing. I just went there and spoke from my heart, and it was surreal to me when I was standing up at the podium that I was like, I was sitting where these guys were sitting one time, listening to a guy like me. Because I remember that.
I was going to say that.
They brought us all in, and the guy from, you know, a civilian came with a good story to talk to the inmates.
A different point of view.
A different point of view.
Now, when you look back at yourself and you see yourself looking into the audience, and the audience looking back to you, were you the audience member who was watching taking that in, or were you just like brushing it off? Like your mindset back then, if you can remember.
My mindset then, bro, I soaked it in.
Wow.
Because by that time, this particular prison, bro, I was done.
Right.
I knew already that I was changing.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to come back.
Yes.
I don't want to miss another holiday. I want to stay out.
Right. It's to show it's all on you. It's all on your mindset and how you want to advance, you know. So
yeah,
I think that's awesome, man.
Heck yeah, dude. And you know, there's COs, correctional officers, man, that knew me from then.
Right.
And see me now.
Right.
And they, you know, it's all love.
That's right.
They see, they're like, yo, what a success story. Because some COs, when I got out, they're like,
we'll see you back.
See you soon. Because they knew already.
Of course.
But I definitely told the last trip around, I said, no, you won't. You ain't seeing me again. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I came home. My old friends did come to me, you know, and they're like, do you need something? And it's so easy to fall into that trap. Now, these COs, we have a relationship, we have a friendship.
Right.
And a respect, you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
One of them was a guest on our show. Shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan, one of the best humans that you guys will ever be introduced to, and he was episode 24.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that look out for that one. That one happened
not that long ago.
Yeah,
2 episodes for this one.
Remember, we triple booked him.
Yeah, we triple booked him. Yeah.
We had 3 guests lined up for that day. Sometimes you need a backup or 3.
Yeah, that's right. And it shows you how many people want to do our show to share their stories with us. And a lot of people were standoffish at first. They were like, nah, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to talk to the audience. And then they ended up opening up to us, like just sitting here smiling, laughing with us, having a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand the shyness.
Of course,
you know? People put headphones, they see the microphone, they see the cameras, the lights.
Yeah.
Although we look very comfortable, we got 26 episodes of experience. You know what I mean? So,
and it's gonna get better.
And we always progressing. You know what I mean?
That's it.
We're progressing as far as this studio.
Yes.
That you guys see.
Equipment.
And also we are thinking outside the box.
Right.
What else is there?
Right.
What else can we do?
Right.
Man, we got some good ideas. I'm super happy for our future.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy for you guys to join us on this journey. We hope that you follow our YouTube pages, the TikTok pages, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, Shop Talk FCB on YouTube, Bacardi Music on YouTube,
yes, sir.
The Bald Barber on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Because
Shop
I'm
Talk
bald.
on TikTok. We everywhere. We're going to be everywhere.
I don't show everybody the baldy, but the world must know I don't have hair. That's why I wear a hat.
It's all good.
You ever just wake up and comb your hat? No. That's all I got. You know what's really messed up is people ask me, do you use shampoo or just face wash all the way up? It's like, wow.
You know what? That's a good question, though.
I use face wash, okay? No shampoo, guys. Yo, but you know what's crazy? You got all this technology. Yo, Elon Musk, invent something for the hair.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Turkey for dots on my head. I just want to take a little drink and my hair grew.
I hears you.
You know?
I hears
you. Yeah, you do hear me because you have hair. Bacardi has a full head of hair. I can't even grow leg hair. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh my God. But, let's get a little insight on Bacardi.
Yes.
Bacardi, where do you hail from?
Queens, Astoria, Queens to be exact.
Astoria, Queens.
Yes, sir.
I'll let Bacardi, fill you guys into a little bit of detail, but I know he's very modest, so I just want y'all to know.
Right.
The reason why I say we got the illest DJ in the world is because y'all got to YouTube him, y'all got to TikTok him to find out this magician, all right? He's been at this game. His experience is top notch.
Appreciate
I know that he looks young, and I do too, but we have a lot of years in experience, and he does too. He's created beats, instrumentals, for countless celebrities.
Yeah, definitely.
He's worked for HBO. He's worked for MTV, VH1.
Yes, sir.
You know, just to name a few of the top ones.
Yes, sir.
You know, let you guys know who we got here in front of us. But he hails from Astoria, Queens.
Yes, sir.
He's upstate now,
Yes,
doing
sir.
his thing.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, man. Let the world know, man, how you got started. What made you get into music? What brings you to upstate New York?
Well, when I was young, man, when I was a young kid, I got into music through I would say my father. My father used to collect a lot of vinyl records, so I was intrigued by that. I used to see him play records and how meticulous he was in handling his records. So it could be an OCD thing, but I was like, wow, I was so intrigued by it. And then music, just period, was like a soundtrack. And I think music is a soundtrack to everyone's life, right? Like we all have music that we put to our life and we're like, wow, remember this, because music can make you sad, it can make you happy.
It'll bring you to a certain event.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was intrigued, and then I saw the vinyl and I was like, wow. And then I'm growing up when hip hop is starting, you know, like not in the super beginning of it, but right in the beginning of it, and just seeing it on TV, and I was just amazed by Run DMC and stuff like that, and I was like, wow, I want to be like that. I want to be like Jam Master Jay. I want to be a DJ.
Yeah, R.I.P. Jam Master Jay.
R.I.P. Jam Jay, man, for real. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. You know, we were poor. I asked my father if I could get like a turntable. I remember he bought me this little like record player in a box, and I used to try to scratch on that, and that didn't work. Even down the line when I started getting a little bit older as a young teenager, my parents couldn't afford anything expensive, so I had other friends that had like 1200s, but I had just some bullshit ass techniques or just some bullshit turntables that were like $90 and stuff like that. And I still were able to learn how to scratch on that.
Yeah.
Bought a little bullshit mixer for like $30 and was just scratching with that. And I seen the people with expensive equipment couldn't do what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just keep doing what I gotta do, man. And little by little, just learn how to. And back then, you didn't have YouTube videos to learn how to DJ. You did it all by watching other people and learning on your own. And you know, I seen other people who were famous around me, like who lived like right down the block from me, like Molly Mall and stuff like that. I used to go to cookouts. Red Alert was there DJing. So like we all like grew up around these people who were famous. And back then, I took it for granted. Now you look back, you had these famous people who changed things in music, and they were right next to you.
Yeah.
But I was still running the streets at a young age, doing stupid shit, like you said, doing dumb stuff. At one point in my life, man, I was like, you know what, I got to take things seriously when it comes to music. So I bought a little bullshit piece of sampler equipment and started like making beats, because I was intrigued into making music as well. So I started making beats with a tape deck and a little 15-second sampler on a DJ mixer. Yeah. And I was making beats like that. Yeah. People were loving it. They were like, wow. And I used to, we used to record on a little mic and stuff like that in the neighborhood. But then I started taking it seriously, and I started, investing in equipment little by little, So I started working like 3 jobs at one point. I was working at Victoria's Secret, The Gap, and this place called Mountain Zone. It was a store in New York City where they sold like mountain equipment and stuff like that. Just to save up to get equipment and stuff like that, And then I noticed and even then, man, I think if I would have dedicated my life more into that, I think I would have excelled at a younger age. But again, the streets kept calling me, man. There was some attraction to the streets. Yeah. Until I started getting in trouble, started getting arrested for stupidity and stuff that I shouldn't even get arrested for. And you look at yourself, and just like you said, you're like, wow, people don't even take you seriously when you talk to them because of the way they identify you, the way they look at you, and they know who you are. They're like, ah. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna prove to everyone that I can do this. So I started taking it seriously. And then there's people that give you a shot, give you an opportunity, and they be like, you know what, come work here. Or let me hear this, let me hear that. So I started doing all that. Then I started taking music seriously. I started working for HBO. I met some lady at a gym class that I wasn't even going there. I was going there to drop off a beat tape to somebody, a beat CD, and she was there, and he used to play it at the class, and she was like, wow, I heard your music, and I got this. I run the music department in HBO. You want to come, just see what equipment we got? And I was like, yeah. So I went up there and started showing the stuff that I can do just by learning on my own. Yeah. She was amazed. Okay. So she was like, you know what, just come next Monday and we're going to put you on staff. And I was just amazed. I was just like, oh, wow. So from that led me to work doing talent scout for VH1 and MTV. It was a great experience, man. That department ended up closing eventually later on down the line. That's how I ended up upstate. Like my parents bought a house up here. I moved up here. My father retired. He bought a house. We used to come up here on the weekends, me and my better half. Shout out to Liv.
Shout out to Liv.
Yes, sir. I didn't like it up here, honestly, in the beginning. It was totally different for me. It was too quiet. I wasn't used to this. But now I appreciate it. And that's how I ended up upstate, man. You know, and I love it up here because it's quiet. It's a different lifestyle. It's not like the big rat race in New York City and just the crowd. And I can go to the DMV, be in and out in 10 minutes while you guys have to sit there for 2 hours.
Yo, for real. No,
yeah,
the quietness of upstate New York, it is totally different. You gotta be. I'm accustomed to it, right? Man. I'm an upstater.
Of course,
now. I want to retire up here somewhere.
Of course,
you know, I love all 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little taste of all 4 seasons.
Right.
We can always go back to the city.
That's it.
It's 3 hours away.
3 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do.
And you,
That's it.
And anytime you want to, we do, right?
That's it,
you know.
that's it.
So, what kinds of things have you done since DJing to redefine yourself?
After DJing and stuff like that, I started, because DJing, I wasn't even really doing it professionally when I was young. I was just, as you can say, a bedroom DJ, or like I only DJed like 2 or 3 gigs when I was living in New York City, because I never took it seriously. It was just my side hobby, but I was more into scratching, so that was my thing. And then I incorporated that into production. So when I made beats, I would add scratches in there, and stuff like that. Like Premier, another big inspiration, DJ Premier, shout out to him.
Heck yeah.
Things like that got me, DJing. But when I moved up here is when I was like, you know what, I need to do something. I need a side hustle, something that's gonna make me money. I started getting into mobile DJing and stuff like that, and I started doing weddings, events, corporate events, stuff for the government, stuff for the state. It's just, I got into DJing. Like I have lights, I have everything, like just
the whole setup.
Everything. Yeah. I turned into a professional DJ. Like it wasn't just a DJ. And that's the easy part. The easy part is DJing. That's like the easiest part to do it. Just mixing music and making people dance. And you got to have a talent for that too, because you got to learn how to read a crowd. So I mean, there are some crowds that's gonna happen that no matter what you play,
there's just no dancers.
There's no dancers. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a different generation. They're just gonna just sit there and be on their phone. And I'm not talking about the young generation. I'm talking about even older people do the same thing. But that's what made me get into DJing up here. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I always had a kind of a thing for photography and videography. I just started getting into that. Started doing videos, music videos, doing just regular videos. So I started investing into equipment. When I first didn't have a camera, I borrowed his. I had some little bullshit Canon that I bought from like Walmart, $400 and stuff like that. So, but then I borrowed his camera, which was a little bit more top-notch type of equipment, and I started.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And what it was I had gotten this camera from Rami. Shout out Rami Hadawi. He's doing this thing in the video world too.
That's right.
Got this camera with intentions to putting it to great use.
Right.
And I did for a little bit, and then it was in a bag.
Right.
When I heard Bacardi say, I'm thinking about, I said, take my camera.
Yes, sir.
And I said, when you're done with it, you're done with it. I'm not going to ask for it back. When you're done with it, you're done with it.
That was real talk.
And my man took it. I mean, he mastered this camera. And then he got a bunch of cameras now. He got like a collection of cameras now.
Yes, sir.
And he's doing his thing. My man even got a drone.
Yeah.
My man will fly through the whole, and record it in 4K.
Yes, sir.
And then you also are a master editor. I say master editor because you've done some awesome videos for me.
Yes, sir.
We like to do a couple events yearly, and one of them is Santa and Friends.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, Santa and Friends.
Great thing in the community. No other barbershop around here does that. There's some who try to imitate it and duplicate it, but they couldn't.
They ain't done that.
They can't do it.
We were just asked about Santa and Friends event this morning.
Right.
And they were like, are you still going to do it? And I'm like, of course I'm going to do it. The people depend on it.
Yeah, tell them what Santa and Friends is about.
Santa and Friends is myself and the barbers that work here. We dress up as Santa and friends. So we might have elves, Mrs. Claus, a snowman, a reindeer running around here. On the weekend before Christmas, we give out haircuts for free.
Right.
We give everybody hot chocolate, cookies, muffins. In the afternoon, we got the pizza, the soda, and then I set the TV up so it's like a movie theater in here for the kids, and mats so they could hop around and flip and all that.
And how about the book program as well that you?
And we also do a little read to the barber when it's nearing and going back to school.
Yes.
We like to, dedicate a whole week to all returning students. We offer them free haircuts. If you're in school, kindergarten through 12th grade, if you can't read, We have books with pictures, and we will help you not only read, but if you can't read, you're not old enough, but you're willing to point at pictures, we'll help you and identify some of these objects on these pages. We take it real serious. We love doing it, and we will continue to do it.
And just think how much that means to a community, people. Because there's some people that can't afford haircuts all the time for their children. So sometimes they'll give it to them like maybe every few months. Just imagine how much that means to someone. Man.
Yeah. You know, I think that because of these events, we are creating lifelong memories for some of these kids.
Absolutely.
Time flies. They grow up so fast. We've been doing this since 2014. That means 10 years.
Yes.
That means that the 10-year-old who started when we started is 20 now.
Right.
And he remembers that.
Wow.
So even if he moves out of state, he goes to another shop, we may come up in conversation on something that a barber back home did, which is this shop. We have a lot of support in this community that help make that possible. We have a few people that like to donate to that event. Shout out to Jim Meinhold. Shout out to Bashar from Duncan. I mean, if I'm forgetting Sue, Samoan Joe, because I know these are people that volunteered and offered themselves to this event, you know, and I appreciate it. Bacardi has made videos for advertising this event to get people, to let people know about, you know, when it is and how it is, and we always try to make it fun and funny. That's right. And so far so good. We got that last one.
We had some awesome ones. I remember the 2 Christmas ones we did were hilarious, man. Both of them were hilarious.
Yes. And we're gonna do another one this year.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir. So, and also, this man has done gaming tournaments to help revitalize parks and basketball courts. So let's not forget that, man. This man put on 2 gaming tournaments out of his own pocket. This man does a lot for the community, man.
Yeah,
people gotta appreciate that, man.
To piggyback off the whole proving yourself, right? Like, I want to prove to my community that I am someone that is giving. That's right. I want to prove to them that I'm someone that they can rely on. I'm someone that can help you lift yourself up.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you're willing to meet me halfway, we can help each other, you know? And this community was lacking a park. You know, there's a few parks, but one of them in particular, which is the most famous one, they call it the Cage.
Oh, the Cage, that's right,
It was pretty dilapidated, you know? And we came up with this unique idea to throw a cool gaming tournament, and it was a huge success. The city of Gloversville has never seen or heard of an event like that, and it was awesome. I mean, everybody showed out. We filled the whole shop up.
Yes, sir. I DJ'd both of them.
He DJ'd both of them, and the mayor himself said, "This was so much fun. I've never seen an event like this." You know, so I remember that.
Yes, sir.
I remember he said that. So, you know, we're gonna cut this off because we got episode 2 coming your way shortly. Stick with us on this journey.
Yes, sir.
Remember, these next episodes that you're gonna watch, the angles are gonna be different.
Yeah, everything's gonna be different.
Up until like episode 6 and 7, then the angle changes again. And then around episode 9, 10, it changes again. And just stick around because we only get better and better.
That's it.
And you're gonna learn more about us, and you're gonna learn more about whoever's sitting right here.
Right.
If you want to be on this show,
contact us.
We would love to have you on.
Send us a message, whatever you want, however you want to contact us. We're on all social media, so just send us a message or reach out. And everyone has a story, man. We would love to have your story here, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all. Yes, sir. We can't wait to hear it.
That's right. And keep an eye out for season 2. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.